In the top stories, Prime Minister says land issue for climate smart hospital resolved. Trinidad and Tobago government revives talks with Sandals hotels, and husband charged with murder after fake tests led to wife's death. Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Today is Friday, April 4th, 2025. I'm Carla Berridge. We begin with news on the local scene. Questions have been raised regarding the ownership of the land identified for the construction of the government's proposed Climate Smart Hospital. During a roundtable discussion with members of the media recently, Prime Minister and Minister of Health, Honorable Dr. Terence Drew, addressed the matter, stating that the issue surrounding the land has been resolved.
The issue of the land is settled. Let me say it that way. This is a national project and nothing is going to frustrate that. So I would not even get into a discussion of the land area per se.
Dr. Drew said he expects construction to begin in the first half of 2025, but noted that the project is substantial and requires extensive planning.
There's going to be what you call a One Health concept. We will have medical school, vet school. We're going to put a research lab there. It's going to be a concept that we're going to really launch in St. Kitts and Nevis. And that area will become a health hub, whether it's animal health, all the different health, because we believe in the concept of one health, because animal health affects human health. If you have issues with animals and people eating meat, what do you think would happen to them? And some animals carry diseases that people can catch, correct? If you have plant health can affect human health. And human health can affect the environment, which can affect animals and plant. We are really one. Animal, plant, environment, we're just one. And so that we want to promote the concept of one health. But let me tell you what I've gotten. I've gotten the schematics of the hospital that are finalized. So we expect construction to start within the first half of this year. That is what we're on track for. It's a major project. And of course, major projects they take a lot of planning and so forth. So I'm pleased with where we are.
That was Prime Minister and Minister of Health, Honorable Dr. Terence Drew. Minister of Agriculture, Honorable Samuel Duggins, is happy with the progress made by the ministry in the first quarter of 2025. Speaking at a press conference that included permanent secretaries and other officials from the ministries under his watch, Minister Duggins highlighted the recent deals signed in Nigeria, as well as the agreement signed with Tabasco, as some of the major initiatives achieved by the ministry.
Today, we are here to share just what we have done in just the first few months of this year. In agriculture, we are not just farming the land, we are cultivating a future. With the signing of a historic memorandum of understanding, one with the Green Economic Zone of Nigeria, we are transforming trade itself. The upcoming Agro-Hub Warehouse and Logistics Center will position our federation as a leader in agricultural exports across the Caribbean, making St. Kitts and Nevis, as I have said from my first go, food mecca of the Eastern Caribbean.
Commenting on the deal signed with Tabasco, Minister Duggins addressed questions on who would be permitted to grow peppers under the agreement. He emphasized the need for discretion in sharing details, citing legal considerations surrounding the deal.
We have to remember that the Tabasco brand has a very stringent trademark copyright framework. Even the very peppers that are used to produce Tabasco peppers are classified peppers under their own copyright framework. And so our responsibility is to be very careful with how those peppers are distributed. So the short answer is yes, there will be some communication with how farmers participate, but it has to be within the framework of protecting ourselves from breaching the Tabasco trademark framework.
Minister of Agriculture, Honorable Samuel Duggins. Jahim Nisbet of Prickly Pear Alley, St. Kitts, has been convicted and fined for the offense of possession of a controlled drug, to wit MDMA. Mr. Nisbet was fined EC $3,500, that is to be paid in 6 months. In default, he will serve 1 month at His Majesty's prison. Mr. Nisbet's sentence was handed down at the District A Magistrates Court by Her Honor Sherry Ann Liebert Charles on April 1st. And we're moving now to news on the regional scene. The Trinidad and Tobago government has announced that discussions will take place early next week with Jamaica-based Sandals Resort International to explore building a luxury resort in Tobago 6 years after the company withdrew from a similar project. At a post-cabinet press briefing on Thursday, Prime Minister Stuart Young confirmed that his predecessor, Dr. Keith Rowley, recently held discussions with Sandals chairman Adam Stewart. Quote, "I am happy to tell the population that Mr. Stewart has agreed to come and speak with myself, Tobago House of Assembly, Chief Secretary Farley Augustine, and other stakeholders in Tobago on Monday, April 7th, end quote," Young said. Calling the development a fabulous opportunity, Young urged Tobagonians to learn from past mistakes and not allow a few misguided naysayers to derail potential economic growth. The Financial Intelligence Unit of Grenada has confirmed that it is actively investigating a suspected Ponzi scheme that has resulted in significant financial losses for individuals across the country. According to the FIU, members of the public were lured into the scheme with promises of high investment returns. Before the FIU's announcement, the Office of the Prime Minister has issued a public advisory warning citizens about the rise in internet scams targeting government officials, businesses, and the general public. More than 1,000 Grenadians are believed to have invested in the scheme, with some contributing amounts ranging from hundreds to thousands of US dollars. Those affected include healthcare professionals, teachers, police officers, and members of faith-based organizations. And on the international scene, a man has been charged with murder after fake texts led to his wife's death. In late 2023, Crystal Krug received disturbing text messages from someone posing as an ex-boyfriend, with one asking if she wanted to hook up while he was in town. Despite ignoring the messages, she later received more threatening texts, including ones referring to her loser husband and indicating she was being watched. A few weeks later, Krug was found fatally stabbed and beaten in her suburban Denver home. Prosecutors say her husband, Daniel Krug, 44, is responsible for sending the messages and her murder. He is charged with first-degree murder, stalking, and criminal impersonation. His defense attorneys did not comment. Krug was arrested on December 16, 2023, 2 days after his wife's body was discovered by police during a welfare check. The couple's surveillance cameras installed due to stalking concerns were not recording when she was found, and one camera was covered with tape. Investigators traced the threatening messages to Krug's workplace. The ex-boyfriend, who was in Utah at the time, is not a suspect. South Korea's political divide was on full display on Friday, following a court verdict that ousted President Yoon Suk-yeol from office. Tens of thousands gathered in downtown Seoul, where emotions ran high. Opponents of the president danced and hugged in celebration, while his supporters let out anguished screams and wild cheers. The public reactions, a mix of joy and outrage, highlighted the deepening polarization within the nation. As South Korea prepares to elect a new president, the divide is expected to intensify, especially as both sides debate the controversial events of December 3rd. That day, President Yoon declared martial law, setting off a chain of events that would lead to his impeachment and removal from office. Supporters of Yoon argue that he was acting to protect South Korea's democracy from North Korea sympathizing politicians, while critics suggest he was attempting to divert attention from ongoing corruption investigations involving him and his wife. Others point to right-wing YouTubers' claims that liberals had subverted the election process. As the nation looks ahead to the upcoming election, the contentious aftermath of Yoon's actions will be at the forefront of a heated political campaign. And now for the weather. Present weather is fair. Winds are from the northeast at 19 miles per hour. The temperature for today is 25 degrees Celsius or 77 degrees Fahrenheit. Seas are 2.1 to 3.1 meters or 7 to 10 feet. The weather forecast for today predicts partly sunny and breezy conditions in general, with a 40% or moderate chance of brief passing shower. Tonight is expected to be partly cloudy with brief cloudy spells and a 70% or high chance of overnight showers. Sunset today will be at 6:25 p.m. Sunrise tomorrow will be at 6:02 a.m. And that brings us to the end of the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Join us this evening for these stories and more in detail. Thank you for joining us. I'm Carla Berridge.